Welcome back to the channel. Here's a trending video about Arise TV correspondent Mr. Rufai weeping for the state of the nation. The man comes to the studio every day complaining about Nigeria. I'm sure he has gotten fed up about the situation of things to the extent that he had to cry literally at the studio. Please watch and tell me what you think about the state of the country. Should Nigeria rely on US for assistance, or we should be self-sufficient in this country? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and turn on your notification button so that whenever I post any video, you'll be the first to receive it. Thank you very much.
You wanted to respond.
Yes, you said it all. Sefini Laba.
Right.
It's what citizens feel. You see, the problem with the reforms is the fact that there's been lack of transparency and truth in the process. Oji, President Tinubu announced subsidy gone in 2023. Do you know that he continued paying subsidy despite telling Nigerians that the reason why they announced subsidy gone was because it was not in the budget? NMPC record shows that 7.1 trillion was paid in subsidy. Do you know what they did, Oji? They hide the name. They didn't call it subsidy. You know what they called it? Energy security expenses. You see this level of lack of transparency. Energy security expenses. It was just like when Buhari government came in. You know, Buhari said something was a scam. It didn't exist and everything. When he's also started playing subsidy, you know what he called it? Under recovery. So it is this lack of transparency that kills this country. And Ayo, I get your points. I don't want people to suffer. I play in that space. I do a lot of advocacy for people. But Ayo, we need to jolt our leaders. Ayo, what happened to this country? We are seeing the likes of the Machimogu. We have seen the likes of Malami, forfeiture and everything. We need to jolt our country back. Ayo, I cry for Nigeria this morning. Let me read something to you. Why I'm crying, why I scream sometimes for this country. On the 23rd of December, 1974, Nigeria signed a long-term borrowing agreement with the World Bank. Under this agreement, Nigeria provided $240 million in net resource to the World Bank reserves. And we're borrowing World Bank money.
We were lending.
We're lending World Bank money to do development projects for other countries. In 1975, we also lent 120 million to the IMF. This country was not depending on aid in the 70s. I feel like crying this morning. What has happened to this country? And because people are looting the country dry. The same country that was lending World Bank money to $40 million in the 70s. In that same 70s, do you know that Britain was going to the World Bank to loan money because they had an economic crisis? That time we were lending them money.
And I said earlier, because even earlier was divided. There were divided opinions, and was quite a good debate around that. But yes, everyone has made a point, and I think it's important to note, number one, it's the US's money. They can choose based on their domestic policy what they want to do and who they target. In Nigeria, we can define the situation as, and we have seen, if you look at the kidnapped victims, for instance, in Orire local government in Oyo State, before the kidnappers unleashed their mayhem, they didn't ask, oh, are you Christian or Muslim? I know there are also bigger conversations as to what's happening in the Middle Belt region of Nigeria, which we have highlighted as well. And I have maintained that two truths can coexist. We can have a particular group being targeted, and we can also have a more general, complex situation as we have currently in Nigeria. Having said that, I did mention earlier, and I align with what I think one of the posts had said, that if the aim of withdrawing this assistance, foreign assistance to the country, is to get the government to act, then withdrawing aid is going to be counterproductive, because the people who usually benefit from these assistance are projects that are for the most vulnerable in society, projects that address health issues. There's malaria, there's HIV/AIDS, there's maternal mortality, problems that address humanitarian crisis, problems that address poverty, eradicating or minimizing poverty. And so it is the people that will suffer. And that was the case I made earlier on. It wasn't to absolve the federal government or Nigeria from doing its responsibility. But what we have currently on ground is that these assistants go a long way in bridging the inefficiencies of government in certain areas in Nigeria. So I was addressing the fact that it was a wrong solution based on his arguments to address the government not acting, if that was his premise. What is a better way, like I suggested, is use the Magnitsky Act. Freeze assets of politically exposed people whom their investigations have revealed have a connection with these terrorists. Go after their assets. Go after, family members. Get them and hit them where it's hardest so that it goes directly to them, because there's always a big debate around, withdrawals just like this, whether it be in Nigeria or Russia or any part of the world, that who does it really affect? And so these are some of the interventions. And then on a final note, I'd said that perhaps the congressman had not been intimate with some of the developments recently in Nigeria. Is it enough? Absolutely not. There's still a persistent call on the Nigerian government to rise up to the occasion of addressing terrorism. But there have been a number of things that have been done since the first call by President Donald Trump on his Truth Social account. Number one is that we've now had this collaboration between Nigeria and the US. Number two is that we've now seen a lot more effort in trying to rescue kidnapped victims. Number three is that we've had an appointment of a director for Homeland Security by the presidency. Number four is that we've had more forest guards being appointed or being recruited. Number five is that we now have the state police bill being rigorously debated. So these are some of the interventions. Are they enough? Not at all. Until every Nigerian feels safe enough in their homes, in their farms, in their workplaces, until the IDP camps are emptied and people can be rehabilitated or reintegrated back into their local community, we are not anywhere close to being there. And so the pressure must continue. Nigerians themselves must hold their president and commander-in-chief to account that we must have a safer Nigeria.
Very well said.